Hi guys, it's Dr. Varun here. Now, today I wanted to do a video on my 5 tips to help you improve your depression right now without taking any medication at all. Now, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe as I'll be bringing out lots of videos to do with anything to do with mental health. But in the meantime, let's crack on with the list. Now, tip number 1 is self-help groups. Now, these are a fantastic resource for helping you share your emotions and your experiences with other people who are experiencing exactly the same thing as you. So in that, there's something quite comforting in knowing, first of all, that you're not alone, and also it allows you to try and learn from each other and try and support each other when you're going through difficult times. Now, I wanted to point out 2 really good resources that I've come across, which would be, number 1, a YouTube channel called Authentic Mental Health, run by a friend of mine, Charlie, and it's really worth checking out, and I'll leave a link in the description below. And also Reddit have got plenty of subreddits, like the depression one, the anxiety, the depression regimes, and they do a fantastic job of allowing people to express themselves quite freely. So those ones I would highly recommend. Point number 2 is counselling. Now, counselling is essentially talking therapy, and the counsellors are trained professionals who are there to listen to you, to support you, and to do this in a non-judgmental and non-critical way. Now, in my own personal experience, I think that pretty much anyone who suffers mental health problems should always try and access counsellors, because I feel that it is one of the ways that you can try and achieve long-term control and stability over your problems. Now, in England, we're very, very lucky here to have the NHS and free access to counsellors, but that might not be the case for all of you watching. So I'm going to leave a link in the description below about an online service that is really, really good and really worth considering if you're not able to access it freely. Now, point number 3 are stopping any drugs and alcohol. Now, I think it's fair to say that drugs are an unnatural chemical that have a negative impact on the way the body behaves and your body's ability to cope with things. So if you're already suffering from a depression, and let's say you smoke cannabis to try and maybe pick you up slightly and then maybe relax you, in the long term, it's going to lead to a negative effect on you and make it a lot harder for you to manage your depression. Similarly, alcohol is a depressant. So if you were feeling low and started drinking regularly, you would just feel so much worse. Also, if you are on antidepressants, the alcohol basically stops them working. So again, alcohol is having a double negative effect here. If you use just a little bit of common sense here and have a think about people who use alcohol as a crutch to try and, drown their sorrows if they're having some bad news, pretty much in all those situations, no one ever comes out actually going, oh yeah, that was a good idea. I'm really glad I actually drank through that period. Everyone always feels so much worse. So no matter how hard it is, trying to stop drugs and alcohol is a really good way of trying to help your mood. Point number 4 is getting your blood test done. Now, the reason for this is because not all depression is caused by life events. So it is possible that there are changes in the blood that can contribute to your mood being low. For example, if your thyroid gland isn't working quite as well as it should, if you might be suffering from diabetes, for example, if you're low in iron or vitamins like vitamin B12, you might feel flat. And if you're feeling physically low, then you might, as a consequence, feel quite mentally low. So it's really important to get these simple things checked, because a lot of these times, a lot of the things are correctable. So it's simple things that can be done to try and improve your mood. And finally, on to point number 5, which is a little bit of a cheat one, but it is essentially doing anything different that you're normally doing. So always thinking about the fact that if you've been feeling flat for a long period of time, the chances are, unless you do something about it, things are probably going to be the same as they were. So the little changes can be ever so small. They can be reaching out to a friend that you used to talk to. It might be restarting a hobby that you used to do before you felt flat. It might even just be going to see a doctor. But these little changes might have a huge impact on your life and on your mood. So always try something different. Now, in the comments below, please, I'd love to hear everyone's suggestions about what little things have worked for you in your experiences. Please don't forget to like the video, and please don't forget to subscribe. And in the meantime, I'll be seeing you for more videos on anything to do with mental health.